IWillFightYou.com. It's the Should I Play This Game podcast for the 20th of October, 2025. Graham Banks.
How are you, sir?
Let's fight!
Nah.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. I've been back at work a week. I'm sleepy. Anyway, how's Tricks?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, stuff going on.
You've had time to, well, at least, okay. So looking, not to give the game away, but looking at your game list, it either looks like you've had time to play games or you've spent satisfactory time playing other games.
A bit of both.
Ooh, hello.
Not the games I've played haven't played for that long, so.
Okay, fair play. Fair play. Shall we just transition into those then?
Might as well.
I don't have any clever, intelligent banter to lead us into it.
Okay. So plus has factored for a little bit. Due to some other stuff I'm doing around the house, I've not got back to recording or editing episode 3 or 4 or whatever I got up to, so I might get back to it at some point, but there. But I have the rest of these games are all new.
Yeah.
We have got 2 that we did in a checkout, so we'll briefly go over those. But the first newish big one is a game from earlier mid this way, a couple of months back, is The Alters. This game is what exactly is this game? It's survival-ish.
Yep.
There's base building-ish.
Yep.
There's base management-ish sort of thing.
There's a lot of ish.
There's a lot of it's a lot of little bits and pieces of a lot of genres, but it's not a big. Each component is not a big part of each of the game, if that makes sense. The main mechanic of this game, though, is that you are managing this. You're playing as this character whose name completely escapes me at the moment, but it doesn't matter. Escapes
me too, because I did play a couple hours of this.
You are controlling and managing this thing.
Yep.
I will say at the front, the world they've created in this game is amazing. I think it's absolutely amazing what they've created, the environment and all the worlds. And you're controlling this thing. A better screenshot is actually that one. Reminds me a bit of, and has got very similar things to the XCOM game from, God, however long it is, the very sort of the
2012?
2012, I'm thinking is in my head, or 13, 11,
2013?
Is that sort of time frame when you had that sort of mechanic where you're building, not
necessarily.
necessarily
2012, 8th of October.
You were sort of building up research rooms and dormitories and stuff for your barracks and that kind of stuff. It's a similar sort of concept in this game. Difference is you've got probably a little more control over how you set up.
Yeah.
In this game, because you've got to actually lay out the whole way to get around as well. Because there's a
lot more room.
There's a lot more room. You also, as it's in that game, you just went in you just did a thing in a particular room in that game. We just went there, sort of thing. This one you've actually got to walk around the environment to get to it. So you've actually got to lay out the pathway to get to it to a particular room. When you start in the game, you can see on the screenshot here the command center, the captain's cabin, airlock, and I think the quantum computer and maybe the communication room and the machine were already there, so they were already in the world, in the machine.
Yes.
You can move them around later, but they were there by the start. And basically, the game progresses. You get materials, you unlock things, you can then build them in the big spherical thing you're controlling. What becomes the other mechanic in this game, which is hence the term The Alters, is that you can actually go into this quantum computer room and jump into your character's timeline of memories and essentially create a replicant of yourself at a certain point in time. You've got a very couple of times I've only done this. You've got 4 or 5 times places in the timeline you can choose to branch off. And basically what you do is you end up creating a replica of yourself.
Mm.
and you can control. You don't necessarily control them directly per se, but you can
You
tell
can
them what
try.
you can try, but you can also
He
tell them
told
what.
you to go fuck yourself.
Yeah, you can also basically you can sort of give them overall controls of what you want them to do,
Mm.
and they will sometimes ask you for confirmation that you want them to do stuff. But for the most part, you're controlling your version of the character and doing the routine stuff, whereas they're just doing passive stuff in the background, like making the whole base, maintaining it, but you're not seeing them actually do it, sort of thing. They just
Mm.
sort of do it. And you're picking up a material which is called rapidium, which is the main reason why you're on this place in the first place.
Which you
Um,
wake up on not knowing A, where the fuck the rest of your team is, and B, how the fuck you got there.
well, they're all dead, so you do know where
Yeah.
they are.
Are they?
Yeah, they're all dead.
Well,
You basically, in case in the opening bits, you come across through all their pods and stuff. Um, so yeah, but you still don't know what happened to make it all go completely pear shaped.
that's what I meant.
So yeah, so you come across their their sort of pods. They're all dead. You're sort of interacting with the other replicants of yourself in sort of dialogue tree kind of interactions,
Relationship building stuff.
relationship building and sort of that sort of thing. But you're also working in the command center and the communication room, talking to Firewatch style off-screen people you're having
Mm.
conversations with, um, and I I'm intrigued by this. I think what they've created is really interesting,
Yeah.
um, and I'm hoping that it kind of sticks the landing. I'm just not sure what that landing is at this point, but
Mm.
I'm very curious to play it out. Um, so what I'm actually doing over the next little while is basically getting a list of a dozen or so games I plan to finish over the Christmas break
Yep.
before we get to our game of the
Game
year,
of the
which will
year.
probably be sort of end of January, early February
Yep.
as a normal in 2026. So I'm basically getting a list of games together that I want to go back to and play, or ones I want to start and play. The Alters is now on that list, along with
Mm.
a bunch of other stuff, which at some point we'll do an episode before we wrap out the year. What our plan is for the break, so to speak.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Um,
Anyway.
so yeah, so in terms of that, like the environment they've created is really interesting.
Yeah.
Where is? I don't know if they've got
It's
it in.
very while you're looking for it's very sci-fi
Oh
sort
yeah,
of.
very much so. Like
I
you
feel
just
like it's kind of like a. This is going to sound really weird, but like Star Trek, if Star Trek came from Eastern Europe,
yeah, I can kind of see where you're coming from. Yep.
but
Yeah,
everything's all like everyone's all American for some reason.
yeah, yeah. So you've got things like you can produce some materials and items to make you easier to get around.
Mm.
You've got this mechanic here, which is basically placing a pylon. Excuse me. You can place down, and I don't think. Oh, this might be the here. Yep, that's what I'm looking for. This is you sort of scanning the underneath the subterranean surface, looking for materials
Mm.
to mine. You then place a miner on this, and then connect it using these pylons to get it
I
back
really,
to the base, sort of thing.
as you're stepping this out there, I'm like, I really shouldn't be surprised that you actually really sort of fell into this and dug this.
It's not really like it's nowhere near as complicated a sim game as what I played. The
No.
thing that really sets it apart, though, the setting is just stunning.
Yeah.
I think it's just an amazing setting. Like that shot there, not that one. Where is it? That one there just
Mm.
gives you a sense of the scale of this place and what you're dealing with.
How are you finding the sort of narrative and the additional clone characters and all that sort of stuff?
The first one, I mean, I'm not too sure. I'd imagine if you were to. So, as I said, you can jump into, and I don't have any screenshots in here, unless that's it there. No, that's something else. There's no combat that I've played so far. It's all
Mm.
just mining and that sort of stuff.
Explore, scan, find
Explore,
shit.
scan, yeah.
Yeah.
Put down mining things to mine stuff that you're still going to manually interact with. So it's not automated like so far. It's not automated. You are in parts moving the big circle machine around, so you're not in the same place for that
Yeah.
long. But I would be interested to once I've sort of finished this game and go and find out how many other, like, as I said, that very first one you you can make a replicant of yourself. You've got half a dozen points along that time frame of your initial memories.
Don't
You
they make you do it from a certain point to
no
tutorialize it?
no no
Oh,
no. Not that I recall. I don't believe you did. You got half a dozen different points in which you can branch off and create the replicants from that point onwards.
mm,
So at that point, they've got the same memories as you have,
yeah,
but then afterwards, what you did is different to what they did, and
yes.
that's where the sort of the conversation comes from in that initial change that you do.
First one came
Um,
out like a fucking asshole.
what's that?
The first one when I had the first one I had was such a fucking prick because he didn't end up going to uni. He stayed to look after his mum and things like that. And he basically turned around to the main character and goes, "You fuck you, you pussy ass." I was like, "Whoa!"
I think
And then they
mine.
ate pierogi.
Yeah, so that maybe you're right. Maybe the first one is only the
I
one
think
which
the
is
first one is set
maybe
is at a set point.
maybe said at
I
that
just
point.
never got to the next one.
Yeah, so yeah, but interactions with the characters, you can basically bring them around to your side. There's always this constant when you're in conversation with them. They have what's the word they use in the game?
It's sort of telltale.
Sort of telltale, but it's I can't remember what the term they use. It might be like emotions or something.
Yeah,
Is a term they
something
might
around that.
use? And, yeah, there we go. Perfect.
Mm,
Motivation, anxiety. So they've got an increase in that, which is a good thing, but that's anxiety is a negative thing, so it's gone up. So that's sort of changing to how those sort of emotions and those memories sort of thing happen. I just think it's a fascinating setup, and I'm really intrigued by it as to how you could end up going for it. And
mm.
I'd like to think there's a possibility you can end up with like 10 or 12 or 15 different versions of you. You've got to go and manage this massive base and have things doing all sorts of
Mm.
things for you. I think it's interesting, a very, very fascinating setup they've done for it, and yeah, I'm looking forward to playing through the rest of it.
My understanding is it does get quite dense and it's somewhat lengthy, sort of 30, 40
Yeah, yeah.
ish. Um, I saw the setting and everything, like you said, very interesting. Um, but I sort of was, this is interesting, this is cool, but it's not that I want to spend time playing other things.
Of course, sure.
So it was that thing where it's like it's a very interesting, very intriguing setup, but the actual wanting to continue playing it is like, but not yet.
Mm. Mm.
So yeah, but I'm very curious to hear more of your thoughts the longer you play it.
Yeah, I mean, as you said,
Um,
I've played it for, as you can see on there, I've played it for about 3 hours. I've
yeah,
not gone back to it this week in the last couple of weeks, so it's basically been my initial 3 hour play of it and gone, oh, this is really
mm,
good. That's on my list to play for the rest of the year, kind of thing.
yep,
But yeah, I think it's just a fascinating setup what they've
yeah.
done with that thing. It's absolutely fascinating. The next game is called Light Haze World. This is a game that I played at PAX. It would have to be 2 years ago now. So I didn't go last year. Probably 2 years ago. This game is actually made in Tasmania, which is pretty neat.
That's right. Point and click, isn't it?
It's
Oh fuck.
a puzzle game that's sort of played from this isometric view. You play as this character with the cool blue hair, and little dog that runs around with you. And basically, it's a puzzle game. Like you're moving blocks around to make these connections going up. This screenshots don't show it off particularly well.
Mm.
The nature of the different puzzles. So you've got to move blocks around to make this pattern down here. So you'd move that one up there. Then the pattern is
Okay.
made, and then you get your 5 coins. And the coins is how you sort of progress through the environment, sort of thing.
Mm.
But it's a very neat puzzle game. I think some
I,
of the puzzles are easy. Some of them are quite interesting to get you to know what they're
okay.
wanting you to do.
I get a
Um,
tunic vibe.
yeah, sort of a little bit. I mean, the perceptive's a little bit like that, but um, yeah, it's a very interesting game. So that's should be relatively short to play through that one, I would imagine. But yeah, that's also on my list to finish out before the end of the
Mm.
year, just to support literally a local developer.
Fucking A.
Now the next two games are the two that we did a checkout of on the weekend just gone.
Mm-hmm.
Metropolis 1998 is basically a SimCity style game, as you can sort of now tell by the screenshots there and the art. And it's basically a city builder. But you can control a lot of Oh, didn't know you can do that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same thing. It's like, oh, we were like, yeah, it's hell of SimCity. This is SimCity on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah. um, so yeah, basically you lay down the roads. So you can see in the screenshots. You lay down the zones like you do in any other most of the SimCity games, and then the game basically procedurally
Yeah.
builds the buildings, and you can actually go up and down the layers of the
Mm.
buildings and look at their individual floor layouts and stuff like that, which is interesting. Um, it's not out yet. This is a demo. It's no date yet.
Mm.
But I'm interested to see um, these guys are saying 2020, no date at all. Because I think on the Steam page it might be saying they're hoping this year, but
Yeah.
it's all obviously all up in the air at some point.
And we're
Next
starting
one,
to lose
yeah, there's not much
fucking
time
the
left.
amount of
Yeah,
2025 that's left. It's like, holy fuck, what
and
the?
there,
At
there,
in one breath, it's like, this is the longest year ever.
yeah,
In the other breath, it's like, oh no.
and this one will, I think, both of this game and the next one will be in early access when they do come out.
Mm.
This one, the next one, Minos, is the one that we also did a check it of, and it's probably of the two we did. I think the what's not the better is the wrong term to use, but definitely the most. It's way different, obviously you can tell.
Very
This
different.
game is a tower defense game, effectively.
Kind of, sort of, but also kind of not.
Okay, yeah, so it's one of these. So let's just quickly go through. We did do a checkout, so if you want to check that video out from last week,
Boom.
it'll be way better because you'll see it in action. But using this initial screenshot here, you control the character who is right there in the middle. He's a Minotaur, hence the name Minos.
He's a Stereos.
And you've got a layout that somewhat changes. So this game builds itself as a run-based, like rogue-like.
Roguish.
Rogue, like Minos is a maze-building rogue-like. So you got these maze in front of you that you've got a fair bit of control over what you can do in it. So you can lay down a series of traps that can be laid on certain points. What you can also do is build walls and take down walls to set the path that you want the enemies to come down through. So you can see we've got 5 enemies at the bottom sort of left here, and we've got 3 or 4 at the top here, maybe even more. And they always going to aim for this thing here, this labyrinth. Once they get there, they can then track you, because they're trying to kill you, but they just can't find you by walking in. They've got to go to that labyrinth, and then they can track you. Unless you manage to get in their way, then obviously they can see you. And by putting down various traps and Jesus, you're putting down traps and making the enemies take a certain path. You basically control what they do and how you can take them out. You can, of course, directly control your character and kill them.
They are weirdly brain dead in some ways.
What's that?
They are weirdly brain dead.
They're like
It's like, duh,
they just follow
walk
the path.
forward,
Yeah.
bam!
Yeah, they just follow the path that they're set to path on. They wait.
They don't give a fuck if the dude in front of them dies. They're just, I'm going to keep walking.
And this is sort of what you're trying to do. You're trying to get down to level 20, I think it is, of this labyrinth thing. Or defend down to level 20, I should say. And you've got, after each thing, you've got the ability to upgrade your character, build more items to help you with the traps and stuff like that. You can have a bit of a loadout stuff going into each level. As you're in the level, you're leveling it up by getting XP. Like, I can't remember what they called it. Might have been Maze XP, I think, from memory. And that helps you level up and get other in-level upgrades and stuff like that. That thing's a buff that happens, you can have throughout the game. So
that's one of the more common refrains of the rogue.
Yeah, that's where the rogue
sort of
stuff's
form.
coming. The rogue light stuff's coming into running stuff. You can die, and there's all it basically does is when you die. Where's that map one? Where's it gone? That one. The path you take through here is changed basically.
Yeah.
So I just think the presentation of it is awesome. I think it just looks really neat. When you're actually playing this, there's stuff in the background moving as well, and it looks really fucking cool. The gameplay is relatively straightforward, but there's definitely some really neat puzzle elements to it because
Yeah.
you have one or two or three or four times four ways they can get into it. So you've got to control the pathing of four different lots of enemies. Each one will have the ability to avoid certain types of traps, and some can't. So you've got to control who's going to get which first trap and stuff like that. So it's got a really neat puzzle element to it.
Mm.
So I think it's really fucking cool, and um, I stumbled across it on a PC Gamer article like a couple of weeks back, and thought, oh,
Yeah.
that looks interesting. Downloaded the demo, played it for a bit, and then said, we need to show you this. And then I think halfway through the demo, the video, you said I've already wish listed.
Yep, I put it on wish. I put it on the wish list within 5 minutes of seeing this thing go. It's like,
Yeah,
oh shit.
yeah. So this thing is
Um,
really fucking cool. So again,
developed.
they're aiming for a 2026 release
Yep.
as well, and I think they're also aiming for not they might be early access. They're not yet, may not be, but they're not. Yeah.
Artificer, the developer
Yes.
behind Showgunners, which I really liked, and Sumerian 6, which
I really
you
liked.
really liked.
Yeah. So
Was that a
and
this year or last year game?
no, so last year.
Ah,
Last year. They are published by the good old Devolver Digital. So.
God damn it. Devolver's fucking publishing catalog is so fucking weird.
The next one is another demo that I played. This game called Barkor was announced probably not the right term. I think it might have been shown in one of those sizzle reels at a Games Award or something like that. I don't know when or where.
There are so fucking many of those
It
things.
doesn't really matter when it is. This is a demo currently still available on Steam as I type. Let's just double check.
It was, well, I looked it up like 10 minutes before we recorded, and it was still there.
Still there. Still available. Yep.
I think the next fest will finish on the day either this goes live or a couple of hours after this goes live.
I wouldn't download the demo. I know that sounds really odd. The demo is not particularly good. In fact, there's absolutely no screenshots from the demo at all in these screenshots at all.
What do you mean?
The demo's rough. The demo is really
okay.
early. The demo's
like technically
really,
and stuff. Okay.
Yeah, so the demo's really early in the development. I think they even describe it as an alpha of it, so it's not even.
Fuck, this thing's a ways off then.
Yeah, this thing is. I don't think this game will come out this year at all. I'd be stunned if it did. It might come out in early access this year, maybe.
If it's that rough, it might not even come out next year in early access.
Yeah, I don't know at this point, but it is a game that I'm definitely going to keep an eye on. As I said, the demos was a bit rough, but
the Steam page trailer is what sold it.
Correct, exactly.
It's Metal Gear Solid, but you're a dog.
Correct, and that's exactly what it is. And
yeah,
from the setup in the demo is really, really neat. But the demo just doesn't quite land where you want it to in terms of the gameplay, what you're doing moment to moment. There's a few graphical issues, a few control issues, that kind of stuff, so it's a bit buggy
probably,
as well.
If they're labeling it an alpha, it's probably super fucking... What?
Yeah, I'd say it's really, really early. I'd say it's really, really early in their development. So, as I said, I wouldn't recommend getting the demo. I know that sounds really odd, because I just think it's not quite the best showing.
It almost unsells you on the game.
It does in a little bit, but I think this premise is so neat.
Yeah.
And the setup is so good in how they actually do set it up that I think it's worth keeping an eye on it. I just don't think this demo was probably...
the
technical wasn't their best thing they could have done, but I think they need to get something out there, which I get. It does show off the movement real well. So you're controlling the dog around, and that's really quite good. Just some of the other stuff that you're doing in the game isn't quite there yet, but it is a demo, so that's to be expected at some level. But the control of the dog is actually really, really good. He moves.
It doesn't seem too rigidly stealth.
Like, no, I don't think it is. I mean, there's more to the game. I think there's going to be more to the game than just stealth stuff. I think there will be some methods of combat of quite, of a sort.
Mount a gun on the dog's back.
Yeah, so you're going to have the ability to let traps and that sort of thing to it. So I think it's got a lot of promise. The demo just doesn't quite deliver, it doesn't show that off just yet. And it's a bit disappointing, but I'm not going to lose faith in it.
No, if it's that fucking early, and even these screenshots, even though they seem more cutscene based than gameplay.
Cutscene based, but you can see it does look really kind of good.
Yeah.
If you go onto the Steam page, you will see way more
Mm.
actual gameplay footage, and it does look
Yeah.
really neat.
Watch the
Um,
trailer.
yeah, watch the trailer and yeah, watch some of the stuff on Steam. But it is again, I think something to look forward to, but I wouldn't necessarily get the demo.
I really want to know how fucking ridiculous they get with the story because when you say the words Metal Gear Solid but a dog,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Metal Gear Solid is already fucked in like 18
Yeah.
different ways.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, you've played some of this.
I played some of this. The last game on my list is called Keeper. This was a game that must have been at a sizzle reel. Maybe it might have been shown off at a.
I think it was announced at the Xbox,
Was it a
not
game
E3 thing last
last
year.
year? Was it that one? It was. I think it was. As again,
Or
they'll
maybe it
blur
was
it.
early this year.
Maybe I can't remember. Anyway,
Yeah, maybe.
they'll blur into as you said. This is a game from Double Fine. Psychonauts 2.
The
Stacking
first,
from even
yes.
years ago.
Oh, fucking Stacking's cool.
Stacking's a great game. And
It's the first Double Fine game after being after being under the Xbox umbrella completely.
Yeah, Psychonauts 2 was a bit of a
Psychonauts 2 was sort of halfway.
was a crossover one, but yeah.
Yeah.
So what is this game? This game is really, really bizarre and interesting, and I think I kind of love it. All right, you are playing you are basically it's a platform puzzle game, effectively.
Mm.
You are controlling a lighthouse, essentially, hence the term keeper. And you basically control it in a sort of a 3D environment. So at the early part of the game, it basically falls over and grows legs. Nothing explains why it can do this or why this happens.
Look at the rest of the world. You don't need an explanation for why
exactly.
a lighthouse has fucking legs.
It's kind of why I like it. It's just you've been plonked in this environment with no explanation whatsoever. The game's intro sequence has basically a bunch of birds flying towards this place where the lighthouse is, and one of them doesn't make it. As in the other three, there's been a group of 4 or 5 of them, and they sort of get left behind because they're not going as fast. And there's these weird looking bee things chasing it, or chasing the group. And I'm not seeing them in here at all.
I don't think, like seeing the overview, the screenshot overviews. I don't think it. I think it's a lot of screenshots from the trailers.
No, this is all gameplay. I'm guaranteed.
Oh, okay.
This is gameplay.
How much
So let me finish.
3D movement is there?
Let me finish off the setup
Okay.
first. So and then you fall. The bird basically falls to not falls to the ground. He goes to the ground to escape this bee-looking hive swarm thingy, and basically lands on top of this lighthouse. And then eventually it sort of wakes up. The lighthouse wakes up and falls over, and then you start controlling it. And you're basically joined along the way with this bird.
Yep.
And this bird behaves like a dog. And what I mean by that is, it's just got this attachment to like you would have a dog. It even makes noises as the game progresses that sound like a dog, sort of woofing and whimpering and stuff like that. But the interaction between the lighthouse and the bird are just really, really good. So in terms of what you're doing moment to moment is you're controlling this thing in a 3D space.
Okay.
Plus you're also controlling the lighthouse lamp on top.
Yes.
So you've got the ability to walk around. It's like it's not completely like a 3D game where you're always following it. Like you would like you're not playing it third person, like always behind the camera sort of thing. You're playing it from different perspectives, and you sort of got to realize, I want to walk towards the camera now. Oh, the perspective, I'm going to go right now. Oh, and I've got to walk back. So it's all
because the camera's fixed.
The camera's relatively fixed.
It'll jump and move.
It'll jump and move as it sort of needs to, but it's relatively fixed. Some things it does follow you, like there are left to right moments where it just follows you, but you're not third person.
No.
Following the character, you're controlling it from various perspectives and stuff like that, which does make controlling the character okay, but the lamp is a little bit weird in terms of because you're controlling the lighthouse with the left stick and the lamp with the right stick, so a bit that like left brain right brain kind of stuff. And sometimes moving the light because you're using the light is kind of a weapon in a weird way. So you'll direct the light on things like you can see here. This might be cutscene, but you can sort of see I'm focusing the light on this thing, and that'll then open up the environment because it's a puzzle element, and you've got to use the right stick to aim it, then focus it and stuff like that with the trigger. So that can be a little bit weird because it's something I don't know where it's actually facing. So you got to go up, sort of little fiddling to get it to where you want it to.
Yep.
So it's a little bit fiddly like that. But once you sort of get your head around it, it's not that bad. But getting used to it's a bit odd. Um, but yeah, things like this, like scenes like this where the the world comes away and you've then got to simmy across things. Um, and it's like the setup is. I have no idea why I'm doing what I'm doing. I could not tell you anything about it. We seem to be following some path to some portal thing. That's as much as I know.
Yeah, I don't think there's no words in the story, is there?
So far I've been playing on the Xbox. There's no time on the because I'm not playing on Steam. There's no time here, but I'm playing on Xbox. It's on Game Pass. As it being a it's Game Pass studio game. It's on Game Pass. There's no dialogue at all. There's no written dialogue. There's no nothing. Literally
There's no
all
narration.
you have, no explanation, no nothing. Not even like it's just you're controlling this lighthouse, going through this environment, solving relatively easy puzzles so far, to progress through the environment. To what end, I have no fucking idea, but
Yeah.
I fucking love it. It's
One of the
environment they've created, the world they've
Yeah.
created, the interaction between the bird and the lighthouse. They're two inanimate object. Well, one is, and one's a bird.
One's a bird
And one's an inanimate object, effectively. But it's a bit like the Pixar little light lamp thing.
Yep.
It's like that thing. Like they've given this object.
They personified the lighthouse and given it personality without having to have it emote.
Yeah, without having to, and it does emote because it's certainly got a face because you got a single eye, so it does have a face in a way. But it's like the game. It's like the puzzles are easy. The environment you're walking through is like it's so bizarre what they've set up.
Yep.
And you can see here I've got the lamps lit up a bit environment and the light and the ground's grown stuff. So it's like you are interacting with it in that weird way, but that doesn't seem to actually like do anything. It's just what you can do, if that makes sense. There's also this big giant something snail. I don't know what this thing is. There's also
turtle.
Going through. It's not. There's no.
No, it's not a turtle.
It's not. It's like it's got this shell from. I think it's a turtle. Sorry, not a turtle. I think it's a snail that's got legs. I don't know what it is. Again,
Caterpillar.
Nothing's been explained about any of this stuff.
Mm.
But you've got like the world they've created is amazing. I just don't know what I'm doing in it, but I want to do it anyway. So they've created this environment that I just think is just so amazing. And
there's an extent to which this is very Double Fine.
Oh, 100%. Like it's very Double Fine in the way they've created this weird environment. They've given you this this simple mechanic to play in this environment with. I've got to I'd have to assume that at some point, someone at Xbox approved them to do this. And if they did, you've got to give them credit because this is such a small, weird game, niche game, that really would only be made by an indie. Like an indie would only make this game because this is not a AAA game.
No.
I think it's amazing looking, as you can see by the screenshots.
Yeah.
It's not performing too well. There's a lot of framing issues, but it's not groundbreaking. I don't have to worry about it. It probably could perform better.
That's the sort of thing that they can patch too.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, for sure. I'm fascinated by what it actually is. But what it ends up being, I'd like to know what the end point of this whole thing is. And yeah, it's gonna be one of those games that I'll it's added to my play for finish by the end of the year list. I've actually got a trip to Melbourne coming up, so this is probably something I'll put onto the Ally and play.
Yep.
But I'm fascinated by this thing. It's so intriguing as to what they've set up, the visuals, the look, everything, the puzzles. Like they've got basically there's no humans in the world, so I'm guessing this is like way into the future. One assumes. It's not even Earth at all. I don't know. Again, nothing's explained. So, So I'm fascinated by this game. I think it's really neat. So
Microsoft knew what they were getting when they bought Double Fine.
Oh, they did, but I mean, they could still. Yeah,
they could still have some sort of iron claw over them, going, "You're going to fucking be a Call of Duty support studio."
Yeah, like that sort of thing. But
someone
had to greenlight this somewhere up the chain.
Mm.
and they've gone, yes, this is a really neat thing, go make it, sort of thing. Now it's not long. I've heard between 3 to 6 hours sort
Yeah.
of time frame, so it's not long. So I've probably played a third of it already by what I've done. So yeah, I'm fascinated to see how this thing plays out. But yeah, so that is my list of
Weird.
games.
All right.
Jump to yours.
So, oh hey, I don't have to play Tower Dominion anymore. Yay! No. Okay, it's so fucking cool. I'm finally done with it after 46.1 hours. I got all the achievements. Literally after we finished recording the last podcast, it was okay. I'm gonna bang down the difficulty to the second tier, which provided 2 entrances to the base, and ended up just knocking out the last, I don't know, 6 or 7 commanders in about the 2.5 hours. We've already talked about Minos being sort of tower defense. This is much more explicitly tower defense and a little bit more rigid in it than Minos is, but it's still just super satisfying putting down your buildings and just fucking watching all the hot death and fucking up those aliens. So yeah, 46 hours, it's done, but I still think it's a very interesting take on the tower defense and really satisfying. So I really dug that. This will be the last time I mention Claire Obscure Expedition 33 until Game of the Year. So I ran into a 40-minute boss fight. It's not because I died multiple times. That's just literally how long it took from start to finish. And I was just like, oh God. It was a really interesting sort of fight that played out a lot of different ways. It's got an endless tower sort of combat trial, which was 11 floors, 3 stages on each floor.
No good.
And it got progressively more and more fucked. Yeah. So I just ended up going, fuck this, hit the open world, did some more leveling, did some more side missions. But as it turns out, by doing all the side missions and leveling myself up, I made the end story content fucking way too easy. Because I saw on Reddit someone mention you should be around level 55.
I was wondering if there was like leveling within each.
Yeah, it does. It level scales. But yeah, like I said, level 55 for the story content. I walked into it like level 93.
Oh, okay.
And this was including the final boss fight of the actual narrative. So I just walk in, one shot, get fucked, moving on. But the story is still really, really well told through that. And the actual exploration of that last area or the last couple of areas is still really neat. Much like with Keeper, just the weird, fucked up ways that Sandfall have created the environment that you explore and engage in. It's semi-French, but there's also weird, time warpy, environmental elements where you're walking underwater and things like that. Yeah, the emotional pull in the moments at the end and the end sequences was really, it was there. It was really well presented. I ended up, so you can see there, 64.7 hours. The about half of that was in the holidays. So I ended up really ramping up and playing quite a significant amount in the holidays. I missed 6 achievements. A couple of them I wasn't sure how to get, so whatever. There is a super hard or super fuck off hard secret boss that I ended up spending maybe 8 hours on. And it was to the point where I probably could have got my head around the parry timing on the difficulty, the standard difficulty that it defaults to. But I ended up just going, fuck this, put it down to story difficulty, which the only real difference there is it changes the numbers in the damage that you take and also widens the parry window to an extent. Okay.
So you probably do.
But even then.
Do more, take less, but better parry window. Yeah.
Oh, I still didn't do that much more.
Okay.
That was still 3-4 hours on that difficulty.
Yep.
Because the builds that I'd worked with up to that point were very health focused, very damage focused, which works to an extent. But there's also the concept of speed/slow, and having a higher speed rating means you can attack more often.
Yeah.
And if the boss has a way higher speed rating than you, it will attack 4 or 5 times in a row before you do. And I was like, fuck. So yeah, I ended up having to fuck around a lot with the builds, the build of my entire party and how to get that to work. That super secret boss did piss me off. Because of course it did, because it was just, fuck you. But it's still my favorite thing of this year so far. It's a phenomenally written game. It looks fucking incredible. They really do, and not just technically. Like obviously, it's Unreal, so you've got the means to do some really incredible things there. But the artistic elements that they bring into play as well, they do. Like the number of screenshots I took that are now wallpapers. There's a lot. But yeah, very, very, very strong game. But we'll be talking likely more about it come Game of the Year. Probably another game we'll maybe talk about come Game of the Year, but I'm still playing this. Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. I've played it 50 hours in the last 2 weeks. Oh my god. So I've got most of the main missions done, except for Hazard Level 5, which just gets fucked. Like, you end up taking way more damage, or like the amount of damage you're able to do isn't too bad, but just the amount of damage you take as you go through, it just ends up, you're almost a glass cannon, but the numbers just make it so unavoidable to not take damage. So it's like, okay, I'm going to start chipping away at these masteries, because there's weapon masteries, class masteries, and biome masteries.
Okay.
And they will give you additional benefits to the character, the weapon, and just I think like stuff like XP gain, stuff like that. So I'm just chipping away at those. The weapon masteries are 3 stages instead of 5. The class masteries are 5 stages, but there's no healing in the stage.
Okay.
And the environments are significantly shrunken. But you can still buy healing and stuff on the drop pod as you're going between levels. And the biome masteries go from 5 levels to 10.
Okay.
When you if you're trying to do it, you can do it at like the different hazard levels. It has the ability to do it to hazard level 5, which is the hardest. And there's like the different, hey, you have 5 points. You did it at hazard level 3, you get 3 out of the 5. I was like, oh, fuck. It triggers that thing in your head where I was like, I need to get to 5. But I'm not doing it on hazard level 5 yet because I just don't have the juice for it. But this is an incredibly good one of an ass game for watching videos or having shit playing on the background on the second screen, podcasts and the like, or just talking shit with a mate of mine from work over Discord while he curses out Battlefield 6, I curse out Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. So that's fun. In the space of, I must not have done something right here when I put it in, but whatever. I put 11 hours on stream into finishing Doom Eternal. And boy, howdy, was that shit fucking rough. Like, the extent to which I was sweating just because of that intensity that, like, playing Doom Eternal on Ultraviolence brings. There were some really rough fights that I ended up making my way through. And, like, a couple of people watching was like, yo, bust out the BFG. I was like, I can't, I used all the ammo. And I was like, oh, shit. Well, good luck. But it is a very good Doom game. It's the most divisive of the 3, if we include Dark Ages, because of how much more technical the combat is and how much more paper, scissors, rock everything is. And that has its defenders, it has its proponents, and it has its people that are like, yo, fuck that. Because it takes away some of the just meat-headed simplicity that Doom can bring. And there's a lot of shit to find in those levels. I got it all. I needed to use the internet for some of it, but I got it all. But yeah, Doom Eternal is very good. There's some master levels that I want to take a crack at, and there's the DLC, but I really wanted to, for some reason, My brain would not let me start the Dark Ages until I finished Doom Eternal, despite the Dark Ages being a prequel. So I'm very smart. Doom Eternal has been finished, and we'll just fuck around with the DLC and stuff on the Friday Night Fun shows at some point. I dipped into, did some dabbling, but also with the intent of, I know these games are shorter, so I'm probably going to knock them out. Sword of the Sea. There are some real parallels to Journey with this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Just a bit more active. It's a bit more involved because you have the surfing / skating elements. So the surfing and the skating on the sword adds the additional dynamic to make it a bit more engaging than Journey is, because Journey, there is some exploration there, but it's a little lighter, and what you're doing to actually do that exploration is way more simpler. But this does a really good job of sort of increasing the engagement that you can experience. It's a bit nebulous, the narrative. Very few words being delivered. There's some steelies around the world where you go up, you interact with it, and it just runs like almost a short 4-7 line poem running through the story context.
Yep.
Where it does a decent job of fleshing that out, but you see some of the narrative as well, just in kind of Keeper like, but with a bit more words than Keeper, obviously. I think you'll fucking love the soundtrack or the score for this, because it's Austin Wintory with an orchestra.
Yeah, I know.
It's not the sound. It fits the game well, but the soundtrack's not really my thing. We know what my music is, and it doesn't quite match. It was fucking hilarious, and I think there's almost more people credited musically than any other credit, all combined, which is really fucking hilarious. It does help with the vibes. They're going for that somewhat of that sort of, I'm not going to say cozy. That's a bad descriptor for it, but that sort of chill vibe. They do bring in some intensity in sports, but it's very peaked and valleyed.
So what are you doing? What's the like you're on this sword?
So you're shredding on this sword.
Yep.
The world has no water.
Okay, so you're on sand
until you stab these bricks, or not bricks. That's a bad. Stab these plates that unleash water into the world.
Okay.
That will then bring out fish, whales, turtles.
Okay. Yep.
Things of that nature, and also populate the world. It doesn't populate the entire world, just sections.
Yep.
And some of that water discovery or water release is tied to sort of exploration or collection. It does put some jellyfish into the world you can bounce off of to progress. There's sort of a 3D platforming element to it.
Okay, yeah.
Way more than Journey ever did, which, again, adds to that interaction and adds that actual interactive engagement a bit more. It's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, obviously.
It's fucking beautiful. Even these are some limited screenshots, but even here, like the way the lighting is done, it's somewhat low detail, low poly in like the character design in particular. But the environmental design, the usage of lighting, the way the water works, the way the creatures, when you see them sort of just swim about, you can ride on some of them too. And there's achievements tied to them. But it's fucking beautiful. When you realize it's from the team behind Abzu and the Pathless, it very much fits within that aesthetic. That's kind of what they do. You do get some additional elements. There's some trick challenges around where it's like, hey, you're in like a skate park area, do tricks. But the trick system isn't that deep, and you're not really punished that much for not landing properly like a Tony Hawk or a skate. So it adds a little bit of layer of engagement there. It's just a nice time to navigate and explore while still engaging in this narrative that's relatively small, relatively bite-sized, but still, I found it really fun, like just traversing the environment. 4 hours. There is one for beating. There's an achievement for beating the end boss without getting hit, which is I think that's relatively doable, but I biffed it in like 3 spots. 4 hours it took me. You would need to do at least one more New Game Plus playthrough to get all the achievements. But for me, it's not a playable twice game,
Mm. Mm.
particularly in a year like this year. I did some playing of games on my laptop as well. Try and churn through some more of the backlog. Gemporium. I played this on a Friday Night Fun. I thought the demo was neat. So I grabbed the game, and then I got really fucking bored really fucking quick. So yet another well done to me. You play as a little mole. His name is Moel, Moel, which is pretty great. And he goes to visit his grandma. She's gone fucked off on vacation and left you to look after her gem shop. So in order to not telling you that she has $1 million debt to loan sharks.
Okay.
So you go mining to find the gems to polish up and sell in your store. Well, it show. Okay, so this is the means to which you're doing the mining, and that you get a hammer, you get a drill, and you can see in the screenshot for those that are watching the video version, this is the unrefined gem here. It's really fucking easy to crack them, which if you crack them, they sell for less. So the hammer takes out rough, bigger chunks. The drill is the more refined tool. It's a little quick time event to do the polishing to get rid of the residual dirt. Then you wipe it with a cloth, and then it's like, yeah, you can sell it. The mining is literally go walk underground. There's little yellow stars in the wall. Not many. There's like 5 or 6 per level, maybe. And then you do this, and then you sell them in the shop. Nope, that's not the shop. That's not the shop either. There's the shop, just a little bit differently presented. The customers that come in have the gems that they want and they don't want.
Oh, okay. Yep.
If you sell them something they don't want, they'll pay you half what it's worth. If you sell them something they are indifferent to, they'll pay you the price. If you sell them something they love, they'll give you twice the price.
Okay.
You get the store gets reputation as you successfully satisfy your customers' needs, which helps you unlock upgrades.
Do you know before you're going to sell it, are they going to like it or not? Or is it after
Nope.
you sell it? Okay.
They'll walk up to you and, oh, okay, I get what you're asking a little bit more now. They'll walk up like this. So it'll have the name, it'll have what they love, what they hate, and then you pick from what you've got.
Okay.
So in this instance, I don't know why, if the person hated, if Carol here hated amethyst, you'd put amethyst on there when she loves citron, and you've got a citron right there. But whatever, unless you're trying to sell it to Jane back here, who's a worm. Like the individual elements are fine, but because they're relatively simplistic, it becomes very repetitive.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
And I got fucking bored so quick.
Yeah. I mean,
like,
it's got a similar sort of gameplay loop to the sounds of it too. What's the game that's coming out? Shit. Dungeon Keeper? No. Shit. What's it called? Fuck. It's early access. We played it a couple of months back. God, what's it called?
we did?
God. Yeah, we both got it on our wish list. Let me just check what it's called. Fucking hell.
Right, while you're checking that.
Moonlighter. That's what I was thinking. I'm sorry.
Oh, Moonlight is more actively involved because as you're going to get the stock for the shop, you're actually going through doing like combat stuff.
Yeah, I realise that, but like it's the loop sounds.
There is some Moonlighter to this, yeah.
Yeah, in terms of how you sell stuff in a shop after getting it. Yeah.
Yes. Aesthetically, it almost looks kind of like a Flash game from 04.
Yeah.
Which, like, this was a team of 5 people, I believe. This was shown on one of the Cozy Game streams or something like that. But yeah, you're doing the same 3 things, and they're relatively simplistic. There wasn't much of a narrative to really keep going outside of. I'm gonna go mine. I'm gonna sell these gems. Fuck this loan shark guy. Grandma's a bit of a irresponsible prick, but whatever. I was flagging after about half an hour, and then after another 20 minutes, I'm like, fuck this. And then I played this instead. Little Laps. This is a 1-button driving game.
Okay.
It's fucking neat as shit. So basically, it's 1 button. You press the button down to accelerate, let the button off to drift or turn corners. And they're very relatively... this is it. That's what it looks like.
Okay.
So the puzzle...
You're not steering then?
Nope.
You're basically on rails, but you got to get the speed right, otherwise you go flying off the track effectively. Okay.
Yep. And there's achievements tied to 3 time tiers for each track, and for doing a certain amount of drifting and a certain amount of drifting with sparks, which happens if you time it right, and B, you're going fast.
Yep.
If you're going too fast or you have the accelerator held down, you will go meow, spin off and crash. I got it, all the achievements in just over an hour. I had played the demo on a stream, and I'm like, this is cool as shit. It's $8.79 on the Australian Steam store, so about $6-7 American. It's super satisfying hitting that fastest time, and it's really satisfying to do so, particularly if you not like hit it first time. That's really cool. The differences in the track do have a bit of technicality to them that makes it way deeper and a little bit less simple than it suggests as a one-button game. But yeah, some of them are really easy. But it mixes it up as well. It's not just this diagonal ramp. There's ebbs and flows in the difficulty.
Yep.
Which I think it does really well. And so there's 3 series, 6 tracks in each. And yeah, it took me an hour to get it done. I really dig it. Sadly, I really need to start paying more attention when reviews describe games as.
I'm curious about this one. Yeah, it's on my wish list.
The amount of time is pretty similar to Gemporium because I bailed in about the same amount of time. So this is from the developer of the 2 Far games. This is not as good as those, I don't think. It's kind of a walking simulator with some herding elements. It's more about vibes and an experience. It's fucking gorgeous, and there's not much else. Like, you're a nameless, apparently homeless kid. You wake up on a mattress in a city, in a tunnel, and as you go walking with no idea where or why you're going, you're just walking. You go past a crashed pickup truck on its side, and you walk around a corner and see a big cow deer hybrid, which in the key art here, they're called calicorns. It's got a bucket on its head. You find the stick that's in the key art and you pull it off, and he goes, yay, I'm going to, well, he doesn't say it, but it basically acts like, yay, I'm following you now.
Okay.
And that's where you start learning the herding mechanics. You find more of the calicorns on your way. There's some puzzly mechanics or interactions. They're not particularly well explained. I had one time, the second time I found a calicorn, which I didn't realize, I tried getting the big one to move, and it just sat there and went, nope. Just shook its head. I'm like, fuck you, man. I'm telling you to move. And then I eventually go, oh, wait, he's seeing something. All right. There was one where, because they're a little bit wary of humans, some of them will run away and hide. And I'm like, okay, I've fixed this by bringing one over and going, hey, look, he's cool. And it comes out, but I had to do something that the game didn't really explain very well to me. Or I didn't feel like it explained particularly well. It's always possible I'm dumb and I just didn't think of it, but I had to look it up. As you progress, you're just walking forward with, like you said, with Keeper, with not much indication as to where or why. But I feel like Keeper has more between the walking to keep you going. Possibly. The herding mechanics are pretty, can get really quite annoying. Like I said, it's fucking gorgeous. And you can get times where you're running through blue flowers. You can get them to stampede a little, which just speeds up the movement. But the actual herding process is kind of a pain in the ass in some ways. Particularly, there's a couple of narrow corridor sections I went through, but in order to herd them, you have to be behind them. Sometimes in those corridor sections, getting behind them and getting them to go where you want is a bit of a pain in the ass. But then, because they're trying to put sentience into these things and trying to give them some character, sometimes you can tell them where to go and they just don't go there properly.
Okay.
And you're just like, hey, you big fluffy fucker, go over there. and it just walks on its own. It's less of a problem in the more open planes they present, but then it's just you're just trudging or plodding.
Mm.
I just got bored with it. It doesn't seem that they're doing a massive amount to add on to the experience beyond just vibes.
Yeah.
It's not about the journey. It's not about the destination. It's the journey, that sort of thing.
Mm.
It's apparently quite short, sort of 3.5 hours. I barely got an hour in.
Mm.
I was like, nah, I'm done. I looked up some of the reviews just because I'm like, sometimes it'll be like, am I fucking crazy? Because I felt like most of the reviews I saw going in were really, really positive.
Mm.
There are quite a few people who are really positive on it because of that sort of quiet, meditative process in the actual traversal and the movement.
Mm.
It is there's not much in the way of conflict. It's literally just the occasional puzzle to figure out how to add these calicorns to your herd.
Mm.
That doesn't really do enough for me at most of the time. I need more to do in between those meditative moments. Like, I've said this on here a few times. My meditative games are like Call of Duty or fucking this Souls likes.
Mm.
In that you're sort of so focused you zone out.
Yeah.
The zone out here doesn't really do it for me. There are some similar vibes to Far when you have the quiet moments in the Far games, but those games punctuated those quiet moments by getting you to do stuff in between.
Mm.
This does, at least from what I played, didn't do it as much.
Mm.
But I don't know. You might enjoy it more than I did.
Mm.
But who can say? Turnip butt! Good old Turnip butt. I play through Letters to a Roller. And that is the time it took me to finish it, 3.5 hours. Have we talked about this before outside of our upcoming games? I don't think we have.
I don't think so. No.
So, you are a turnip. You are living in a world where fruit and vegetables are sentient and are people.
Mm-hmm.
You go to a place called Arala Isle to fill in for their postal officer while he's on vacation. A lot of people pissing off on vacation in these games I'm playing this time around. The inhabitants are, like I said, other personified fruits and vegetables. Everyone has very definable just cakes. Like absolute ass cheeks. Like all of them. And I didn't realize this in the demo, but the turnip butt jiggles. It's very pleasant, short, sort of semi-exploration game, assuming you're doing more than just delivering the letters. There's some puzzly parts to the letter delivery in that you get given the letter, it doesn't have a name, it doesn't have an address, it has like a drawing on the front. You have to interpret that drawing to figure out who's getting the letter.
Okay. Yep.
If you can't, it's really clever in how it's designed, but if you can't figure it out, you're not necessarily punished or spoken down to as a result. You go to seemingly the postmaster or caller or talk to her and go, I don't know who the fuck this is for. And she'll either give you a hint or for someone she'll just go, it's this house here. I'm like, oh shit. Because the world itself is relatively small, it's really interesting and really neat to explore it because you can get from one end of the island to the other in like 3 minutes.
Okay. Yep.
So you can explore the nooks and crannies. There's things to find, and as you progress, different parts open up for you to find different elements. Like there's the old lady who you first run, one of the old people you run into. She's like, oh, this big chessboard here, I can't find all the pieces. So I spent about half an hour running around going, I can't find these fucking chess pieces anywhere, lady. And she's like, yeah, you'll find them. Don't worry about it. And as the game progresses, you're basically playing through the week Turnip Butt is there on to cover this vacation, and the different parts of the island open up for you to find those pieces. The characters are written to be really nice and pleasant. There is one older watermelon lady who is crotchety and not very nice, so fuck her. But there's a couple of grape kids running around who have misinterpreted don't talk to strangers as no talking strangers. So if you go up to them and try and talk to them, they're like, no talking strangers, so shush. I'm like, fuck you, you little bastards. It's really clever. It's quite Australian in some of the dialogue and some of the elements, and it also does, like, some of the collectibles, it'll give you a bit of a brief spiel on what they are. Like there's kangaroo paws, and it'll go, the kangaroo paw is this. And there's some other informational elements about sort of historical parts of Australian landmass and stuff like that. Rocks, flora, little features. The studio, I think, is Victorian, or at least it has like Government of Victoria, Vic screen, all that stuff on the opening splash screens. I really dug it, and I think it's worth the time. $25 might be a bridge too far for some people.
Okay.
But I think the quality of the experience, the exploration, the interactions, and that goddamn turnip butt make it like well worthwhile. All right, Hell Clock. I finally started on the main game. I picked the normal difficulty, which was a mistake because I was sleepwalking through most of it. I only got about an hour in, so I restarted on, I think it's Veteran, which makes it a little bit more, you have to be more active in combat to not get hit and not lose health. Otherwise, the combat's mostly the same. You have to change the difficulty on a restart. You can't just do it in-game.
Okay.
Which is a bit of a bummer, but it is what it is. We've talked about this briefly on an upcoming games in the past when this was coming out in July. It fucking looks amazing, both in its animated cutscenes, and it looks really good in play. The music or the sound is well orchestrated. The music's a bit sort of mid to me, but again,
I think when I was playing it, it's a bit
flamenco.
Yeah, like it's a bit like it's just.
It is stereotypical.
What you think that kind of music from that game should be, but I don't think it does anything really dramatic.
It's not offensive.
Not offensive. It's not good, bad, or indifferent. I think it's
no.
there, but
I just like
it could be better. I think that's the thing I'd be saying.
Yeah.
I think, but yeah, we might sort of comment on it.
For me, it'd be like, if you're going to call a game Hell Clock, why is there no metal? But whatever. I really like that it defaults to Portuguese as the spoken language, given that it is set sort of after, it's a fictional retelling of the Canudos massacre of the late 1800s, but I don't really know much about that event. I don't really know how it's set in that. So narratively, there's at least an interesting background or context to it. It's way closer. Like, I played a bit of the demo, and I'm like, I think it was about 10, 15 minutes. I'm like, yep, done. This is fucking awesome. I'm going to really dig this. I don't think I realized just how Diablo or console Diablo this actually is to play. It just has those roguish elements to it. There's a rapid fire ability that's fucking awesome. Yeah, I think this might be one of the better roguelike type games of the year, or roguish games of the year. There is, because of the South/Central American setting, the Brazilian elements and all that sort of deal, there's very much an over-insistence on talking about God and prayer and all that sort of stuff. I'm very much not religious, so that kind of is a little bit, it's inoffensive. It's just kind of, okay, dude, we know you like God. Let's move on and keep going. But otherwise, yeah, it is what it is. It's a little bit, it does wear a little thin, but yeah. Two more. The Rogue Prince of Persia came out of early access in August. So this was developed by Evil Empire. If you don't know who they are the people who took over Dead Cell's maintenance from Motion Twin, so that Motion Twin could go and make Windblown. So Evil Empire now maintain Dead Cells, do the different DLC, the upgrades, all that sort of stuff. I was fucking shocked by how Dead Cells this actually is when you play it.
Why would you?
So I didn't expect, I don't know why, I just didn't expect it to be as Dead Cells feeling as it actually is. It's like there isn't the content, the weapons, the items that Dead Cells has. Some of the traversal elements are very similar to Dead Cells. The combat is very similar. There's some elements to progression, the way you transition from level to level. The altars, the transition between levels has very similar places of fill up your health flask. Are you going to drop your cells or whatever they call it in this into here so you can use it later? All that sort of stuff. It's much more fluidly animated and framey When I say mean framey, it's got a fucking lot of frames of animation.
Mm-hmm.
They spent a lot of time making this thing move really nicely. I think it has a really great look to it, but I played a fair whack of Dead Cells. I don't know how much more. This sounds really harsh. I don't know how much more of a basically Dead Cells I want to play again. But other than that, like, there's a fairly interesting story where the prince wakes up. He is the prince this time, not like in the Metroidvania one. Oh fuck, what was that called? The Lost Crown?
Crown, yeah.
Yeah. So instead of you trying to save the prince, you are the prince. He tries to fight off these Huns. They whip his ass, but he doesn't realize he's been out for 3 days.
Okay.
So the Huns are at the castle, and you've got to try and get there to save your family and save the kingdom. Anyway, it's neat. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how much of it I'll continue playing, but basically right now it's this Hellclock, and I'm going to start Hades 2 on my laptop, and then keep other games for this nice big thing here. Like, oh, okay, there was one more I forgot. Doom the Dark Ages. I finally started it.
Mm-hmm.
It really is that midpoint between 2016 and Eternal. There's way less emphasis on technicality.
Mm-hmm.
The weapons are all way more viable individually than they are in Eternal. You can still make progress and do well with your favorite weapons in Eternal, but not as much. There's some heft. The Slayer is a big old beast, and he just like gets around. There's some weight to him. There's a shield dash or shield bash that's really effective as an additional combat tool. It looks fucking phenomenal. It's on the id engine. I turned on all the path tracing. I ended up setting, in order for it to work properly, I put DLSS to ultra performance. So it's running really well. It looks fucking awesome. It has that typical Doom bombast in the soundtrack. It's just this big, dumb, chunky metal riffs with this big, dumb medieval Doomslayer running around just fucking dudes up. It's the narrative, much like 2016, much like Eternal. It's pretty great in that it takes itself just seriously enough to be semi-serious without being a joke, but still recognizing how gloriously stupid having a god-killing ultimate weapon of man is just some fucking dude. And the demons are like, hey, look, this is just a dude. What the fuck? So I'm going to probably just run mission out of mission or mission by mission. Play a mission, do something else, go back. The only reason this is here is because we talked about it for the upcoming games of October. And they had a server slam this weekend. If I was to go back to that upcoming games of October, I would take Arc Raiders off. It is extraction shooter 101. If you've played, what was the one that Crytek made? Oh, fuck. Whatever. It's every one of those games. You in a relatively open world, you're looting, trying to get materials, weapons, trying to like complete quests, and then you just have players like drop on you, fuck you up, kill you real quick, and then that's it. You're out of the game. And sometimes the AI enemies in the game are also really quite strong and can also really fuck you up quick. There's drones that are sort of larger in size that have rockets. Less than one barrage of rockets, you're down and done. Like, it looks like great, like you'd expect a game in a modern era, I guess, to look. It plays really quite well. It's well made for what it is. You just have to want what it is.
Yeah.
If you don't want to be running around this environment while you're looting and having some fun, and then just having people just drop on you that are generally fucking way higher level and just completely stomping you out, that's where the fun gets lost. Like in a battle royale like Apex or like PUBG, you can counteract that because there isn't the gear aspect. It's skill. There is some skill to this, but if you don't have good guns or you don't have good armor, shields, whatever, you will get fucking wiped. So my hope for this was maybe misplaced. Mate of mine, myself and mate of mine played it on the Saturday's version just to go, hey, this is going to confirm for me if I'm pre-ordering or not. We played like 4 matches. And I was like, yep, we're done. Because you just get swooped hard and you just get fucked up, which sort of dampens the spirit.
Mm.
And you also get a bunch of like story quests. It's like, why the fuck are you giving me quests if I can't finish them because this dude just fucking killed me and just took all my shit? Get fucked. So yeah, I just wanted to PSA that. Like, I would, unless you want an extraction game like that and you are down for that sort of thing, you are not down for this.
Mm.
So that's it.
Mm.
Way more. I've been back at work a week and I've played more games, volume-wise, more games, numbers in the last week than I did when I was on holidays. Typical. How about we run it through the beginning and the end?
Mm.
Dance break. As Graham mentioned, there are checkouts for Minos and Metropolis 1998, both up on YouTube. I think you had a Solo Factory go up last week?
No.
Or this week?
No.
Oh, okay. I was wrong.
Trying to get one going, but just not getting.
Yeah, that's fine. I did a solo checkout of some Steam Next Fest demos because I just had them. I'm like, I'm not going to play them any other time. Let's go. Anyway. So that's up. Friday Night Fun, Saturday version. They're all there as well. Twitch.tv/Enemy Starship. Give us a follow there. You'll get a notification when I go live to play video games and say dumb things on the internet. I don't know. We've been saying dumb things on the internet for A, about 10 years at this point, and B, the last hour and a half. Do you have any more dumb things to say?
Nope. I think we're done.
I think we're done too. Next week, Split Fiction or maybe something else?
Yeah, probably Split Fiction, I suspect. Unless something comes out of nowhere that we want to look at, but yeah.
Yeah.
Probably get to Split Fiction. Yep.
I'll be back on Friday and Saturday with Friday Night Fun. You are going to kind of maybe not try to do a Solo Factory for this week.
I've got stuff to look at, but yeah, I'll figure what I can do.
Yeah. It's the gift and the curse of doing this as not a job.
Mm.
But anyway, we'll see you next time for the Should I Play This Game podcast. Graham Banks, thank you once again.
All good.
This has been episode 329 for the 20th of October. We'll be back in a couple of weeks for a podcast and video stuff next weekend. Thanks for hanging out. Peace. We'll see you next time. Bye. Drum time.